When you see these pictures of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, of course, literally, well, enjoying themselves, if not the children, because we're not allowed to see those at Disney, you'd think, well, here is this sort of perfect, happy family picture. I mean, the weird thing is, why bother offering pictures up anyway to pixelate them if you just want to show how happy you are? I mean, without going into too much detail, again, these children look very strange, don't they? Because they either grow 1 minute, they've got different hair colour. Are they doing the Michael Jackson thing with the wigs? At least he just covered them up, you know? Along with Meghan and Harry, they seemingly, of course, are trying their very best to present a happy family, well, you know, life. And this again is a celebration for their daughter's 4th birthday, Lilibet, right? Somebody's trying incredibly hard, don't you think? But behind the scenes, apparently, the marriage is in fact, or shall we say, difficult. But again, it's not Meghan Markle's fault, and she's at pains to point this out. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Welcome to a very rainy, miserable London today. Hope I can cheer you up a little bit. Are you all right? I'm not so bad, thank you. We'll have a lovely wave. I'm trying to do this again before it starts to go really bad. It gets really dark. It's almost like November. You know, you think, what happened? You know, I've looked at the 7-day weather forecast. It's not looking good. I know, if you are here and you do see me around, don't be shy, come up and say hello. I read somewhere on the comments that 2 lovely ladies saw me while I was filming up in York, but apparently they were too shy to come and say hello. Never be shy. You see, my flask is big, right? So we could have always had a pot of tea by the Minster and sorted the world out. Never be shy. Do come up and say hello. It was nice to know that you were there anyway, so thank you. Lovely comment to read, and I'm glad you enjoyed York. Let's get back though to your royal story of the day. This is a funny thing. Meghan Markle, you see, as I've often said, it's never her fault. And I've also pointed out to you before that she finds it very difficult with Prince Harry because as far as she's concerned, her life has now moved on. She is an entrepreneur, a jam maker, a podcaster, a television director, 80 crew, all that sort of stuff. She sees herself very much in the moment, you know. Meghan never really looks back. The only thing she looked back to was when she wanted to snatch back the magic mixer, of course, from the husband, Trevor Engelson. Seemingly that had more affection to her than, in fact, the former husband. But that's how things go. And I'm sure Prince Harry's finding that out the hard way. But what's interesting, Meghan was going to give another interview, but she decided again to leak all of this over to her favourite Bible, that is People magazine. Now, a source at People magazine told me that at the 11th hour, a lot of things were pulled back because apparently Meghan's, team, shall we say, had let a lot out. Yes. And apparently it was all to do with the fact that she feels very much that she's now living forward and Harry still literally has got a problem. But this isn't the first time, you see. Harry's always at pains. And if you remember, it was him that was forced to write a letter for Jamie Kern-Lynn to read out about how marvellous she is, what a great wife, whatever. And remember, she said, that man loves me so much, right? That man loves me so much. And you see, this is how it's working out, right? Because according to the source that Meghan finally gave all these sort of insider tips to, the bottom line is that she's finding it difficult to cope with the fact that Harry's not coping with the fact of moving on, moving out of royal life and, of course, just kicking it all behind. As I pointed out, you see, he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have anything else to do. Meghan has now moved on and decided that she wants other things. And this is causing, according to a source, a lot of friction inside the family. You see, Harry watches all the things that royal related, royal clips, whoever the visits are, what his father's doing, with the gun thing at the armoury stuff. He watches every single thing. Meghan, not interested. Wasn't interested when she was in the royal family. No interest now. No interest in returning back to the United Kingdom. Positively thrilled that the security thing didn't work out because there's no excuse now not to return. Harry's becoming more and more remote. You see, the People magazine piece, as I say, only scratched at the surface because at the 11th hour, Meghan felt she'd gone too far. A little bit like The Cut, where she says things and then says, oh, I didn't say that, or I trusted someone. Remember all of that? Well, clearly she's setting Harry up to paint him in, some might suggest, and as ever, allegedly, a darker picture. A man who's not happy with his lot, even though she claims she is. When Harry was over in London, he was very lost, didn't see anybody and couldn't contact his family. He was reaching out time and time again to people. And as we know, that was a very much unsuccessful move. As for Harry now, what he's trying to do is cement a happy picture, because what else has he got left? Meghan is moving on rather dramatically, whether these things work with Harry or not. But the stage is set for the next chapter of this marriage. And as Meghan famously said, she sees herself married to Harry forever. But she also famously said in that Variety magazine, nothing's forever, it's all in the moment. Remember? And whether you believe this or not, I'm actually starting to think that Prince Harry needs to open his eyes, because the Caesar plantation are desperately moving forward. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.